Hi, this is Al with Guitar Art Systems. Today I will be discussing a few commonly found open chords, how to play them properly, and a couple exercises that will help you switch between them in a timely manner. So the first chord that most guitarists start with is an E minor chord. So this is it. You're going to have E, be open. The next two strings are going to be pointer and middle on the second fret, and then the rest of the strings are open. And so it is crucial that you don't try to use your fretting hand to hold the guitar up. We don't need to do that. The rest of our body is supporting the instrument. So really, in your fretting hand, all you should be touching with is the pad of your thumb on the back of the neck and the tips of your fingers. If you are doing anything like this, you're probably blocking open strings that need to be open for that chord. If your thumb is too high, that can happen. If you forget to bend the third knuckle on your finger, that can happen. So if you look here, this is not what we want. We want, if you look from the side, I should be able to stick my finger through there. We need a gap so that it's the strings that are higher in pitch are open. So one way to test that your chord is correct is to make it, apply pressure, and then play one string at a time. If they're all ringing and they continue to ring, then you're doing it properly. If you find yourself doing this, well, don't move past that dead string. We need to figure out how to fix it. And so this is sometimes if you just lower your thumb and bend that third knuckle on these fingertips, that string will now ring. Now the second chord we're going to go over is A minor. So now you're not going to use the lowest string in pitch. You're going to use the A string open. My middle finger stays where it is. We lift pointer because we need the A string to be open. So open, 2, ring finger is going to go onto the G string second fret for 2, and then pointer is going to go on the B string first fret, and the highest E string is going to be open. So we'll do that and test each string. And so something common that beginners do is they try to tuck their pinky so that it's out of the way, but watch what happens. Did you see what happened with my posture? It pulled everything down, so now I have this. So now I have two dead strings. Well, if I just relax my pinky on the ring finger, it will allow me to focus on my posture and get back to where I have the higher strings ringing. I'm not blocking any of them. So now from A minor, we're going to learn C major. And C major, our pointer finger doesn't move, and our middle finger doesn't move, and ring finger moves to the third fret of the A string. And so these fingers that are not moving are called guide fingers. So for C major, we have the top string, the lowest string in pitch, not being used. We have 3 on the A string for the lowest note being C, the second fret on the D string, an open G string, pointer on the B string for C still, and then the highest string being open again. So here's this chord C major. And the strings to focus on to make sure that they're ringing are the G string and the E string, because it's very easy to block them. And so you want to make sure with this pointer finger that you have a gap so that that top E string will ring. Same thing with your middle finger. You don't want it to be laying on the G string. And again, don't tuck your pinky because that will get the posture of your fingers all messed up. And you need nice gaps underneath your fingertips. And again, it's fingertips to the pad of your thumb. If your thumb's too high, your notes aren't going to ring out. If your thumb is too low and you're coming straight down onto the fretboard, that's not going to feel very comfortable. So you need a good balance of bending your joints in your fingers and having your thumb in the proper position. Another thing that can block strings that goes unlooked is having your headstock low, because I have to bend my wrist at a severe angle if I have my headstock low. So you either want it to be straight or maybe a little bit a little bit less than a 45-degree angle, and that will help you get the proper posture. So now we're going to practice these at a tempo so that we can work on our guide fingers, the fingers that don't move between chords. So again, from E minor to A minor, my middle finger doesn't move. And then from A minor to C major, my pointer and my middle finger don't move, just my ring finger. So now we're going to do this at 45 beats per minute, 1 strum per click. So we're strumming quarter notes. Let's give this a shot. And a lot of people are confused on how to use the pick when strumming. So it's not a violin bow. We don't want to do this. We don't change the position of the pick. The pick stays like this and travels through the strings. Now I will tilt my pick at a 45-degree angle so that it cuts through the strings a little bit nicer. So it's not sitting flat against the string. There's a little bit of an angle. And I try to, this would be arpeggiating, like when we check our strings, but I don't want to arpeggiate when I'm playing with my metronome. I want to play all 6 strings on that click. Now, let's try the same exercise with these guide fingers, but we're going to move the timing up to 60 beats per minute. Now, the next 3 chords that I'm going to show you, one of them is going to be C, but the difference is there's not going to be any guide fingers between these 3 chords. So the first chord is G major, and G major is going to be middle finger on the 3rd fret of the lowest string. The A string is going to be the 2nd fret. Then the D and the G and the B are going to be open. And the highest string is going to be on the 3rd fret with pinky. So this is your G major chord. Now we're going to switch to the chord that we had in the last exercise, C major. So X, 3, 2, open, 1, open. And then D is going to be our 3rd chord. Now D is going to be X, X, so we don't use the E or the A string. We start with the D string open, then the pointer finger on the G string 2nd fret, ring finger on the B string 3rd fret, and middle finger on the E string 2nd fret. And so it's really, if you're having trouble jumping to this chord, I like to put these 2 down and then my ring finger. But anyways, so now we have this for D major. And so as you notice, from G to C, no fingers are staying, all of them have to move. And then from C to D, again, all of them have to move. So this is going to be a really, really difficult one, but these are 3 very common chords. Once you feel comfortable switching between them, you're going to know hundreds of thousands of songs. That is because G is the 1 chord in G major, C is the 4 chord in G major, and D is the 5 chord. And we'll go over what that means more in private lessons, but here we go with these chords at 45 beats per minute. So now, as you notice, there is what I like to call a ghost guide finger in the change from D back to G. So when I'm playing D, if you look at my pinky, it's hovering over the note that it's going to go to for G, and that would be a ghost guide finger. So G, here's D, and my pinky looks like, from your angle, it might even look like I'm playing that third fret with my pinky, but I'm not. It's just hovering. And then when I go to G, it goes down. So I do my best to create economy of motion. I want to keep my fingertips as close as I can to not only the chord that I'm going to, but the chord that I'm going to after that chord. I want to be looking ahead at least one chord with my fingers so that I have a game plan on how to switch in a timely manner. So now let's try that same exercise, but at 60 beats per minute. So again, this was Al with Guitar Art Systems. This is a system I've been developing over 10 plus years of teaching both professionally as well as privately. And I really look forward to working with you. I know together we will turn you into a really, really talented guitarist. So looking forward to hearing from you. Thank you.